Pravojam bhakti yogasya swarupam te chadurvidam kalasya cha vyakta gader yo andardhvavadi jandasu jandushu. Pravojam bhakti yogasya swarupam te chadurvidam kalasya cha vyakta gader yo andardhavadi jandushu. Pravojam bhakti yogasya swarupam te chadurvidam kalasya cha vyakta gader yo andardhavadi jandushu. Synonyms. Pravojam, explained. Bhakti yogasya, of devotional service. Swarupam, the identity. Te, to you. Chaduvidam, in 4 divisions. Kalasya, of time. Cha, also. Avyakta gade, the movement of which is imperceptible. Ya, which. Andardhavadhi, chases. Jandushu, the living entities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear mother, I have explained to you the process of devotional service and its identity in 4 different social divisions. I have explained to you as well how eternal time is chasing the living entities, although it is imperceptible to them. Purport. The process of Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the main river flowing down towards the sea of absolute truth. And all the other processes mentioned are just like tributaries. Lord Kabila is summarizing the importance of the process of devotional service. Bhakti Yoga, as described before, is divided into 4 divisions. 3 in the material modes of nature and 1 in the transcendence, which is untouched by the modes of material nature. Devotional service mixed with the modes of material nature is a means for material existence. I'll repeat that. Devotional service mixed with the modes of material nature is a means for material existence. Whereas devotional service without the desires of fruitive results and without attempts for empirical philosophical research is pure, transcendental devotional service. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Supatantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tum Sajivam Sadhuidam Savadutam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lilidam Shri Vishaka Nidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimade Lokanath Swamini Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining this very auspicious and profound Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's our great fortune that we have this opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. It's there is no words that how fortunate we are. Just here Srimad Bhagavatam means associating with the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord was just unmanifesting from this world or departing from this world, Uddhava asked the Supreme Lord, how can you live without your association? Then Supreme Lord mentioned that I'll be there in my form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So everybody can have association. In their devotees, as soon as when you open the Srimad Bhagavatam, when you hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a great potency. There's a great transcendental potency, spiritual power, which means that we are in association with the Supreme. So thank you so much for joining. So never ever miss any opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or spiritual discourse, because of that is not into the material plane. So hearing Sravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, as it says that, right? The Srimad Bhagavatam hearing, Srunvadam Sravanam Kirtam, Punya Sravana Kirtanam. Punya Sravana Kirtanam. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Srunvadam Sravanam Krishna, just hearing about Krishna is Punya Sravanam. It purifies everything. So it's very important wherever and whenever we have the Krishna Katha, spiritual discourse, we should open our ears and completely. So what happens? It goes directly into our heart. It goes directly into the soul. So soul get purified just by hearing. We don't need to do anything. So here, similarly, the Lord Kapila Dev is instructing to Mother Devahudi. This chapter is titled as the entanglement in fruitive activities. So the living entity is entangled. So as soon as they come into this material world, they entangle with this material or fruitive activities. This fruitive activities is based on their modes of material nature. There is Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. Living entities take birth in this, three modes. And accordingly, they very much entangled. Some are in mode of ignorance. They have such kinds of activities and worship and other activities in such a way that full of fruitive, or we can say that fulfill just the desires of their, the material desires. So they entangled. Like just for an example, there was a sage, a sadhu was living. The sadhu was very much completely in devotion, completely in full time, and he was always in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. So he had not many possessions. All he had just a cowpea and a water pot to drink the water. That's what is all this sadhu had. So then what happened when he take the bath and then he put this cowpea and wash it and put it over there on the rocks there. And then it is, to make it dry. So then what happened? He noticed that the chuva, the mouse or the mice or they come and just started to, eat it. Because of whenever they see it, they come and. So then the sadhu thought that if it goes, then I will not have any, cowpea, the little piece of cloth. So what he did, he thought that, okay, if I have a cat, then I can, rescue, I can, protect myself so that the mouse won't come and take this little piece of cloth. So somehow he got a cat. So now cat is very much, now in the possession of this sadhu. Now the cat is there, so now he is relieved from the problems of the mouse. So now the cat is there. Cat is now getting hungry. He was coming near to the sadhu and say meow, meow. And sadhu understood. the cat is hungry and need to arrange some milk. So, so he was trying to get some milk, but then he identified, he thought that yes, if I get a cow, then and so that way I'll get the milk, and so the cat will be, cat will be satisfied, sufficient. So somehow he got a cat, the cow. So now cow need grass and to feed, and then all those things. So he was trying. He was a very well situated in sadhana and sadhu, and now he has a cat. He has a cow. Now he has to take care of. So now he had to, get the grass and so many things to take care of the cow. He thought that it may be helpful if I get a girl, so this girl will come and take care of this cow. So then this sadhu decided, and somehow he found a girl, and girl came to the hermitage of the sadhu. Now the girl is started to live there, and then the girl is started to take care of the cow and to get the milk. And then sadhu also started to get the milk. The girl is getting the milk, the cat is getting the milk. So now all on a sudden it was a very simple hermitage that became like a house. And there now sadhu was slowly deviating from his original his bhakti, original process of devotion, and he was completely now entangled in this worldly activities. And now sadhu also started to get attracted to this girl. Then what happened? Eventually, the sadhu got married to this girl who was taking care of the cow. Now what happened? After this, then sadhu was so much attached to this girl, and girl is taking care of this sadhu now. Now he is completely deviated from his sadhana, and now he got married, and now he got children. Now he has to take care of the children now. So he completely left all his sadhana, and then now his main business is actually going out and taking care of things. And then he completely devoid of devotion, and he completely fall down into such a material condition. And then later he was thinking what I was doing. He came to his original consciousness and thinking that what I was doing, I was so happy in my sadhana. And then but immediately the needs comes in, thoughts comes in, needs comes in, it taken away all my devotion. So so Kapila Devi is exactly mentioning here, dear devotees, so this entanglement fruitive activities. So as soon as we have all these material needs, and based on the modes of material nature, we entangle here in this material world. And so many, the requirements. And then in order to satisfy our senses, our various needs, we perform in fruitive activities, karma kanda, in so many ways. So in order to fulfill this dharma, artha, and kama, this dharma and artha and kama, in order to fulfill the desires of the material world, then we engage in all this. So we do some kind of little bit of dharma, then artha, try to earn the money, then kama, fulfill the desires, then we come to the position of moksha. But mainly the people are more interested into these three things, the karma, in order to fulfill. So this is what is exactly Kapila Devi is revealing here, and that's what is we have to hear this very properly with our open ears. So why we are entangled here in this material world, birth, death, old age, and disease, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, dukkha, dosha, anudarshana. So here, Kapila Devi is further telling to Mother Devahudi, my dear mother, I have explained to you the process of devotional service and its identity in 4 different social divisions. I have explained to you as well how eternal time is chasing the living entities, although it is imperceptible to the we saw that the movements of the living entities. So that was, Kapila Devi is mentioning that how the living entities are moving into this world and how this eternal time is affecting all of. So dear devotees, it was so nice to understand this is pure transcendental science, Srimad Bhagavatam, and then our acharyas, our great sages and rishis, and this the Lord himself come down and revealing this confidential knowledge, this very confidential knowledge about us, about this material nature, the time, the eternal time, the kala, the prakriti, and Srimad Bhagavatam says the 10 main subject matter, right? Atra sarga visargascha Yes, atra sarga visargascha, sthanam borshanam utaya, right? So like that, there are 10 different subject matter. So it's all that, giving us a wonderful, wonderful, understanding. So here Kapiladev says that all I have mentioned here, all these movements of the soul, the entanglement in the fundamental principles of the material nature, entanglement, this fruitive activities, and all, out of all, then comes to this bhakti yoga is the topmost of all, as mentioned that, the process of devotional service. So everywhere the devotees reveal this process of devotion that is ultimate. Bhakta bhaktya mam abhijanadi yavat chasmi tattvadaha. Bhakta mam abhijanadi. So by the devotional service only that I am understood. Tattvadaha, that tattva I am understood. As in the Rupa Goswami mentioned, the Sri Krishna Namadi, na bhavidna indriya, sevon mugohi jikhvadu swayameva surasparadiyada. By devotional service only that I can be understood. The bhaktamam abhijanadi yavanjas, chasmi tattvadaha. So that tattva, that principle, that the supreme understanding, that absolute truth can be understood only by the loving devotional service, no other processes. So other processes is mentioned here. So four divisions of the karma kanda, jnana kanda, ashtanga yoga, and then it comes to bhakti yoga. So this bhakti yoga surpasses all. So jnana yoga, it maybe gives that the understanding, but it won't give you the supreme Lord. It will give you the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. So that's the realization a jnani will have. But a yogi will have the Paramatma realization in the heart. But still, there is a big gap in between, the real, the understanding and the real aspect of the perfection of the life of the living entities. The real aspect and the perfection of the life of the living entities, that if one is able to engage in the loving devotional service to the Supreme, that's our perfection. That's what is every acharyas, every, the great personalities in the Srimad Bhagavatam is revealing to that. So Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but just proclaiming, just upholding this one aspect of it, that is bhakti yoga, the devotional, pure loving, devotional service. We know that the story of Ambarish Maharaj. So even the yogi, the greatest yogi, the Durvasa Muni came before Ambarish Maharaj. But we know that what is the power of yogic? Even the great yogic power is there, but nothing can be in front of bhakti. So anything that which, then what about this karma yoga? Karma yoga and all is actually is just yoga arudha. That means, or yoga mumukshu, that means just beginning of that. Yoga arudha stage is the highest stage of that is loving devotional service to the Supreme. When that is called akarma, the action in Krishna consciousness. But when we do the fruitive activities, that is just the beginning. Just some way or other we are trying to connect, but just in order to fulfill just our the desires, satisfy our desires only. But here, on the other hand, the bhakti yoga, the loving devotional service, surpasses all those. Only great, fortunate souls can come to that stage of loving devotion. Not everybody get it, so it takes time. But this is a great, fortunate moments for anybody by the mercy of the Lord, the Supreme Lord, and the mercy of the devotees. One can come to that stage of devotion or pure devotion. So that's what is Kapila Dev is revealing here. So we know that the Ambarish Maharaj was a king, and he was great devotee of the Lord. And instead of going to the forest, and we know that in the many situations, the kings, they go to the forest. We know that the Bharat Maharaj, they went to the forest. Bharat Maharaj, has 100 sons, and then Rishabhadev, likes that. And then later we can see that Bharat Maharaj went to the forest and then meditated upon it. But what happened? Eventually, fall down, in the sense that Bharat Maharaj become a deer and then become Jada Bharata and all those things. But on the other hand, Ambarish Maharaj was understood what is the real process in this world. Ambarish Maharaj completely dedicated himself to the lotus feet of Krishna. And Ambarish Maharaj was revealing here what is this bhakti means. Savai pumsha paro dharma, yadur bhakti radokshaje, ahetugi apradihada ed atma suprasidadi. This devotional service, Avaipumsha Parodharma, that is our ultimate duty, ultimate goal, ultimate perfection of this human form of life, is nothing but to execute loving devotional service unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's our Param Dharma. There is no other Dharma. So when we have the Swadharma and when we have the Paradharma, we have to come to this understanding that Paradharma is nothing but to execute loving devotional service to the Supreme. And if you execute that one, there is no other dharma, there. That if we are completely execute our devotional service to the Supreme Lord, that surpasses all other dharma. So similarly, Ambarish Maharaj was doing this, and dharma, his hands were cleaning the temple, his eyes were looking in the beautiful form of the Lord, and nothing satisfies Ambarish Maharaj other than seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. And here, years of Ambarish Maharaj was utilizing to just to hear about the glories of the Supreme Personality of God. Nothing else satisfy the years of Ambarish Maharaj. Dear devotees, this is called devotional service. The Ambarish Maharaj tongue just was tasting the prasad and the bhoga which is offered to the Lord. Nothing else was satisfying the tongue of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj's hands, the legs were nothing but just going, using to go to the temple, go to the devotees, and the body and the entire body. So everything, that each limb. So then when one utilizes his body, mind, and the verse, then there is no difference between the separation. There is no even separation between the Lord and his devotees. So then what happened? Durvasa Muni came. Durvasa Muni was a great yogi. He could even create the world. He could even create the universes. Like that, that was his power of Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni came, and it was on the day of the Dwadashi. And then Amrish Maharaj was fasting for the Ekadashi. And it was not like an ordinary fast, what we do, the continuous days of fasting. Ambarish Maharaj was, then that's the time Durvasa Muni came, and Durvasa Muni then told, and Ambarish Maharaj personally invited Durvasa Muni to have the lunch prasadam. And then Durvasa Muni agreed, and he went, then said, let me go and take bath and come back. And Ambarish Maharaj was waiting. Now Durvasa Muni was taking long time. And then after that, what happened? The time, the Parana time, the breaking the time is fasting, breaking the time is just getting closer. There is not a more time left, and even a second left. It is still that time Ambarish Maharaj waited for Durvasa Muni. But it is also mentioned that it's we have to take care of, even if we do the fasting, if we don't do it properly, that's also not good. So Ambarish Maharaj consulted with his Brahmanas and said that instead of taking the food or any other grain, if you take little water, then that will consider as breaking the fast. So because of Ambarish Maharaj was fasting from even from the water. So then Ambarish Maharaj took a little, drop of water in order to break that. So Durvasa Muni came and became so angry in such a way that Durvasa Muni, how could you do this one? I thought you are a great person, and how could you do this one? I cannot tolerate this. You are disrespecting me. I will kill you. So Durvasa Muni immediately created a demon and to kill the Ambarish Maharaj. And but this is the time the Sudarshana Chakra appeared before. And Lord cannot tolerate these kinds of activities against his devotees. So immediately Sudarshana Chakra came and killed that demon, and then now started to kill the Durvasa Muni. Now Durvasa Muni saw that Sudarshana is there and he couldn't do anything. He was running all over the world, and he went to Brahma, he went to Shiva, and they were all said that we are under the control of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. So finally he wandered around almost long time, and then came back to the came almost an year. It is mentioned that he came back to the Supreme Lord and said that Supreme Lord said that I do not know anything but devotees. I do not know anything but devotees, and my devotees do not know anything but me. The devotees are always in conscious of me, always in devotional service to me, always in loving service to me. So such devotees, even I don't have even control, so that I can't do anything. And if you want to relieve yourself, you have to go and request the Ambarish Maharaj. If he wishes to relieve you, then you will be spared. So then Durvasa Muni came back and fall flat at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. And then Ambarish Maharaj, of course, the devotee is always compassionate. And then as soon as seeing this, Ambarish Maharaj pardoned, and then again, the Sudarshana Chakra, Ambarish Maharaj was praising the Lord Sudarshana and requested to Sudarshana that please withdraw and do not do any harm to this Brahmana. So the reason I mentioned the devotees, see, as Krishna says in many places that Bhaktamam Abhijanari Yavat Jazasmi Tattvadaha Matchida, I says that as Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, right? worship me, offer your homage unto me, and obeisance unto me. Thus you will come to me, as Krishna says in the 18th chapter as well as 9th chapter 34. Krishna was always saying this, and worship me, right? Offer your homage unto me, thus you will come to me. So many places, and Krishna is proclaiming and emphasizing this aspect of devotional service. The 6th chapter, Krishna says that, right? Yoginam abhisarvesho madgadendranatmana shraddhavan bhajade yoma bhaktya samo tamaha. That means one who abides me in his heart and worshipping me, then he will be the greatest of yogi. So dear devotees, all the other process which is mentioned, Kapila Devi is mentioned here. Out of all, Kapila Devi is emphasizing this aspect of that bhakti yoga. The bhakti yoga is the only process that one can attain that perfect realization. One can attain the spiritual form of that Parabrahman. We see that Brahman, Parabrahman. And only by bhakti yoga one can come and see that the form of that supreme Lord, that is even the Parabrahman, beyond the Parabrahman, that the form. Only by bhakti yoga one can see that. Only by bhakti yoga one can realize that the beautiful form of the Lord. Otherwise, nobody else can realize the beautiful form of the Lord, beautiful dham of the Lord, beautiful, the leela of the Lord, the pastimes. So only by loving devotional service that one can attain this and nothing else. So Kapila Devi is revealing this. So it's very important, dear devotees, our great fortune that we have this opportunity. We have beautiful, wonderful temple, wonderful association of devotees, wonderful process of Srimad, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srila Prabhupada is given us this wonderful process of chanting of the holy name and devotee association. And we have lots of services. And what else is, this is Vaikunda, this is Goloka Vrindavan, are actually engaging and enacting and in the services of the Supreme Lord directly. So always don't minimize this and take it very seriously in such a way that you have such a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to perform devotional service. So this is the perfection of our life. So thank you so much. With this note, I would end here. Thank you. I think I did it well a little further. Hare Krishna. Let me stop here. Okay. So we'll stop here.
Prabhuji, can I ask you one question?
Yes, please.
Here it is written that, where is that? Devotional service mixed with the modes of material nature is a means of material existence. I didn't follow that sentence.
Yes. So that also is, there is karma, there is a sakama karma and nishkama karma. So fruitive activities is called karma. Karma means that, yes, there are some rules and regulations, regulative principles. So we do certain kinds of karma based on the rituals, based on some kinds of, guidance. So the intention for that is that to get some material benefit, so that we go to some karma, so some karma kanda, some fruitive activities that take you to the heaven, take you to the various other planets, and you live there and completely enjoy your life. Or you get a good birth, you get a good family, you get a good wife. You people do that, right? So fasting on Monday, go to the Lord Shiva's temple, or get some good husband, or Lord to Mother Parvati, get a good wife, and sun god, get a good health, and Kubera or Mother Lakshmi to get some good wealth, and so many ways. What the intention is that what? Just to enjoy this material world. So this is what it is. So material, the modes of material nature depends upon the modes of material natures are, what is that? Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. So people are in the mode of goodness. Even though they are in the goodness, they can engage into this kinds of activities called the sakama karma. That means with the intention, with this material desires. So what that material desires come from? The modes of material nature. Sattva guna, maybe it's a good desire, and ignorance, mode of ignorance, they may have the bad desires. But all the purpose is nothing but to enjoy this material world or entangle in this material. That's why Kabila Devi is mentioning that entanglement in this fruitive activity. So people are completely engaged in dharma, artha, kama, right? This kama just to satisfy. So these modes of material nature, or either we are in the sattva guna, rajo guna, or tamo guna, depends on that. We engages into these fruitive activities. So that's why this modes of material nature mixed with this fruitive activities, that's our material existence. That's why we are still here, because we have this desires, material desires are there. That's based on the modes of material nature. But the Bhakti Yoga is nothing but to transcend that material modes of nature, right? Transcend. Bhakti Yoga means one who comes to this, that's called Nishkama Karma or Akarma. That means there is no fruitive, there is no desires for this material world, there is no desires for this fruitive activities, no desires for that, I want to enjoy this material world. Rather, we are completely surrendering to the Supreme Lord to please satisfy the senses instead of our modes. That that we are satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord. That means now we have a goal. Now we have an aim in our life. Now we have the complete understanding. So instead of putting ourselves in the center, rather we are putting the Lord in the center. Then we do everything for the pleasure of the Lord, not for us. So we don't even take any little pleasure in the material world. Rather, when we engage in the service of the Supreme Lord, we pleases the senses of the Supreme Lord. Thus, way that we also get that spiritual sense. That's why the Bhakti Yoga gives the bliss, or called Ananda. It's the happiness, and Ananda is different. The happiness which we get, this temporary material happiness that arises from the senses. Senses are all working under the modes of nature, and because of that, we are under the modes of material nature. We are mixing up everything, and then that's where that which makes us again and again and again here live in this material world. So any karma kanda activities which is sakama karma kama, which doesn't give you any kind of liberation. So that's what it is mentioned here, Madaji. Was it okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, you go back to the material world again by doing that.
You are going back to Abhyam Bhuvaner Loke, Punaravartana Archuna Mama Bedu Kaundeya Punarjanmana Vidyade. Brahma, from the Brahma, the planet of Brahma to the lowest planet, everybody has to go back to this, material world again and again. Punaravartana Archana. So everybody has to, even that if you go to the heavenly planet, everywhere that you has to come back into this material world. So material world is a place where those who are the Sakabis, the Karmis, Gyanis, all these people and yogis, they will be all here.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a text of, I was reading an experience of a yogi. So this yogi, I was telling that he went to a plane where all the, one plane, the yogi stay, that's also in the material world. And in that plane, there were all the Devadas. He could see that all the Devadas and all these forefathers, those who are, taken, those who are passed away. And yes, it's a fact that he was saying that he could see that all this, but he is not liberated. Yogi cannot liberate himself. Yogi may go, he may have some kinds of siddhis and, attain some kinds of mystic powers, but he cannot liberate. He will be in this material world, and so he had to come back. He will go back various places, but he may be relieved from some suffering and all. But he is in this material. Material world is a realm where, which is called, this a cloud within the spiritual sky. So material world or existence, this universes, multiverses, is a big places where everybody is here and there. That's where coming out when they have the desires other than the Supreme Lord, they will have to be here in this material world. So any desires, that's why if you have the desires at the time of death, you have to come back here to fulfill that desires. So if you have any kind of attachment, so this is any types of anything that we have with the material world, material desires, we have to be here in this material world. That's why this process of Shravana, Kirtana, Vishnu Smarana, Pada Sevana, Archana, Vandana, Dasa, Sakya, Atma Nivedana is for that to come out from this our material entanglement. That's why Kabila Devi is exactly saying Bhakti Yoga. Only by Bhakti Yoga one can come out from this material entanglement. Otherwise, every other activities in this world is somehow tinged with the name, fame, pradishta, puja, everything. So there is a settle. Even though we say that I go to the forest, I will renounce everything, but still there is some attachment. There is some settled attachment to everything. So only by Bhakti Yogas we can say that Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, the Ambarish Maharaj, what they did, they are completely surrendered everything to the Lord. Only by Bhakti Yoga one can purify. That's why instead of this Faltu Vairagya or Markada Vairagya or Smashan Vairagya, instead of that, it is actually helping us to come to utilize everything into the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anasaktetsa Vishaya Idaham Nirbande Krishna Sambande Yakta Vairagya Muchade. Instead of renouncing this monkey Faltu Vairagya. Utilize everything for the service of the Lord. Naturally, everything will become detached, everything will become purified and transcend. That's why modes of transcends the modes of material nature. So by this way, that when we transcend the modes of material nature, then we will be free from our material and and material desires. And this way, that at the time of death, we'll be completely able to conscious of that Supreme Lord instead of all the other desires. So this way, we can attain the Supreme Lord. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai. So I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And anything else? Anybody else would like to add before we conclude? Okay. So let's stop here then. Thank you so much. I think it's Black Friday and all those things. Also, we have a program at the evening at Subal Prabhu's house, and also I'll see that we'll have the classes today evening, Chaitanya Charitamrita class. So thank you so much, and let's pray together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Sri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jai Jai Narasimha, Prahaladesha, Jai Patma Moga Patma Bhringam, Ugram Viryam Mahavishnum Jaladam Sarvadovakam, Narasimham Vishnam Bhadram Bhakti Namamiham. Let us pay our humble obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha Kalpatarubhasya, Prabha Sindhu Bhevaja, Padidanam Pavane, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.